Hey folks, this is News in the Flash for January 22nd, 2025. Um, Another day in the golden age of Trump's America. Uh, First news item that we're going to discuss today, we got about seven of them, is Silk Road founder Ross Ulbricht, if I'm pronouncing his name right, was pardoned. He ran a dark web system, apparently, from what I understand. I didn't know much about his situation, but he was sentenced to two life terms for running that organization that allowed for transactions that couldn't be easily followed by the government. Um, many felt that was excessive, and I agree, uh, considering the fact that some murderers get off much more easily nowadays, and lack of due process in the situation, in regards to evidence and so on, and also a lack of direct criminal involvement in certain activities that took place on that Silk Road web experience. So that pardon was a good pardon. It was a full pardon. It wasn't a commutation, and I support it. Uh, the next item I completely support, and have been since I first came into contact with it, really in the early '90s, um, when I went to college, and that is the revocation of Executive Order 11246 that was issued by President Lyndon Johnson in 1965. It created affirmative action. President Trump has revoked that order. It will no longer be practiced at the United States level, and I'm sure other businesses will follow. You'll be promoted now and hired now based on the content of your character and your merit. Uh, Not be discriminated against because you're the wrong race, sex, or whatnot. So that is a very good decision by the Trump administration, along with its end to DEI programs, which were outward racism, even worse than affirmative action. So both items have been revoked. Both items no longer will exist at the federal level, and I agree with those completely. We need to be a meritocracy where your skills and your character determine whether you're hired. Um, the next item is Trump blast Reverend Marianne Budd, who is a bishop apparently in the Episcopal Church of America or whatnot, at the National Cathedral during the prayer service for delivering an ungracious sermon as a leftist activist. If you look into her past, and you could get this information on YouTube and other places, she is, first of all, anti-Trump. She has stated so in person. She's also um, anti-MAGA agenda. Let's just put it that way. And so her criticisms are coming from a political standpoint rather than a religious one. And she really demeaned herself and the services with what she did at that. And we welcome back Trump's posts and criticism of people that are acting ridiculous. Um, Nonsense what she did. The next item is Panama's in panic over the canal and its Chinese control. They've launched an audit into the companies that are running the ports and so on. They must know that they've done wrong. The treaty we signed with them, which we should never have signed, because we 38,000 Americans died building that canal, and we put a lot of money into the canal. And there were Americans living on the canal zone. It was an American territory. Uh, Jimmy Carter, the late past President Jimmy Carter, who was one of our worst presidents, he was a nice man, but a failed president. His policies didn't work. He gave the canal to Panama for a dollar, after hundreds of billions of dollars, if not more, being spent on the canal. Canal is a strategic asset to the United States and to the United States Navy. It was supposed to be run not to charge our commercial ships, which go from coast to coast, from New York, for example, to LA or San Francisco. Um, and it was also not supposed to charge our Navy vessels, which need to protect us in the Pacific and the Atlantic. Well, Panama and together with its Chinese corporations, which are in violation, in my opinion, of the Monroe Doctrine. I think President Trump should, and advisors around him should look into the Monroe Doctrine. It should not only be against Western Europe, but it should be against those powers in Asia like China who are on the rise, interfering in North America and South America. So uh, I am a firm belief that we need to negotiate uh, with Panama to get the Chinese out at the very least. At the very most, we should use our U.S. military forces. And I heard rumors that the 82nd Airborne's on its way, but I'm not sure about that. I haven't found anything on it. To retake the canal. It is a strategic asset to the United States. And the next item is also kind of in that vein. Britain has been warned by U.S. Senator Kennedy from Louisiana and by others not to hand over an Indian Ocean island, which is a strategic asset to the United States Navy. It has, I believe, there's a naval base there. Um, to to Chinese interests. Again, um, they're supposed to be a partner with us and one of our allies, and they shouldn't be handing over things that are going to harm the interests of the United States. And need to make that firm, and Senator Kennedy has stated that. So I support his efforts in that regard. The last item here today is, and this is something that Trump did in an official announcement, um, where he is bringing in $500 billion of AI investment into the United States so that we could be the leaders in AI. AI is the wave of the future, whether you fear it or not. And he's bringing all that money in to make us not only the leaders, but innovators years ahead of others. This will put us ahead of the Chinese and others who are increasingly becoming not just competitors, but enemies. So, very good, very good decision on behalf of President Trump. Well, it seems to be all for today, January 22nd, 2025. That's we welcome you to North Masters Realm, and you have a wonderful and great day. Have a great day, folks.